Greetings all! Today, we will be examining the legendary fighting ghost-type Pokemon Marshadow, the Gloomdweller Pokémon. Though rarely ever seen by many and mysterious in much of their ways, Marshadow are powerful little creatures that can more than prove to be a terrifying sight to behold in a fight. Marshadow possess gray bodies that have the appearance of a wisp of smoke, with digitless hands and feet and streams of shadowy smoke that trail off from their feet across the ground. Their overall build is very human-like, with a main torso and enlarged head, their neck being covered by a collar of smoke. Their head is covered in a crown of the same material their body is made out of, with a pair of curled wisps like hair on the sides of their forehead, and a wispy extension that floats upwards from the top of their head. Though hidden in smoke, this actually forms a green helmet of sorts, with green and yellow wisps on their head and hands, normally being hidden from sight in a smoky haze unless they are actively engaged in battle. Their mouth is quite small, and their eyes glow red with yellow pupils, shining brightly in the shadows as the rest of their form stays hidden from sight most of the time, with flared extensions coming off of them when they have entered the Zenith Marshadow form and the smoke covering them dissipates. Very little is known about Marshadow as a result of their penchant for hiding in the shadows of others on an almost constant basis. In fact, these creatures are so rare that many don't even know that they exist, and those that do often still believe them to be a myth, despite the fact that they have been demonstrated to be real Pokemon. These creatures are cowardly and craven by nature, and thus spend most of their time hidden in the shadows of others, biding their time until something interesting happens that deserves their attention. This is not done out of spite or creepiness, however, as the truth is much stranger. Emotionally and mentally, Marshadow are effectively blank slates. What is meant by this is that, while they can think, their interpretation of the world around them and how they interact with others is effectively a null statement on their own, as they lack the ability to generate their own emotions and act on them. Instead, these creatures form temporary spiritual links with other life forms while hiding in their shadows, and copy their emotions in place of any that they might be capable of generating on their own. This can lead these creatures to be more friendly and outgoing in good cases, but if they choose to mimic the emotions of others that have dark thoughts in their mind and heart, they will copy and reflect those as well, making them into little monsters that can more than put their devastating power to vicious use, potentially making them a serious threat to have to contend with. Interestingly though, this penchant for copying others is not limited to their emotions alone, as these creatures also rely on this power as a key feature of their combat abilities. While these spectral creatures are known to be skilled in using fighting-type attacks alongside their spiritual powers, and thus have a proper type assignment to reflect this, in truth, they are still blank slates, and will actively use their powers to copy the fighting styles of others in an effort to make them their own. At first, this is just a simple copy, and these creatures will lack the exact skill that a target has in using its combat abilities. However, what makes Marshadow truly amazing is that not only will they get better in using these skills in time, but, eventually, they are often able to use what skills they have acquired in new ways that are beyond what their original target could do, effectively surpassing them with their own skill set. This can make Marshadow incredibly dangerous fighters to go toe-to-toe with over a long battle, as their proficiency in using whatever moves or skills they have copied will only increase over time, fueled by the natural attacks they can gain access to on their own. Marshadow are even able to use their copying powers to deliver powerful and potentially devastating damage with their signature attack, the Spectral Thief attack. In using this move, Marshadow will use their spectral powers to form a temporary spiritual bond with their target and use it to form a conduit from which they can latch onto and copy any positive stat changes that have been made to their opponent. After doing this though, they will suddenly release a burst of spiritual energy that breaks the connection violently, dealing internal damage to the target that effectively nullifies the positive stat changes, making it seem like Marshadow literally stole them. From here, with whatever new power they have obtained, Marshadow will turn into a shadow and merge with the shadow of the target, and from below them, deliver a flurry of attacks charged with spiritual energy, acting to deal fairly high damage and bypass any substitutes they might otherwise have in place. Moreover, these creatures are unique in that they have their own special Z crystal, the Marshadow Z, which, combined with their signature Spectral Thief attack, can allow these creatures to deliver a special upgraded form of it, the Z move known as the Soul-Stealing 7-Star Strike. In using this move, these creatures temporarily eschew their mimicry of the skills and techniques of others, and instead charge themselves up with an immense amount of spiritual energy in preparation to use this attack, which is one of their own creation. When fully charged, and in their zenith form, they will unleash this move by punching the opposition harshly with 7 blows, each with a packet of dense, unstable excess spiritual energy attached to them that sticks to the opponent, forming a symbol that is remarkably like that used to represent Z moves in ancient scripture. Once these blows have been delivered, Marshadow will finish the attack with a diving kick, passing through the opponent like a shadow and causing the 7 packets of excess energy to detonate, creating a devastating explosion of energy sure to deal catastrophic damage to the target. Aside from this, these creatures are generally most skilled in basic attacks that only deal minor to moderate damage at best, but this translates into an impressive technician ability for them, so it's not a severe issue most of the time. Moreover, as far as their stats go, these creatures are impressive fighters that can deliver powerful strikes and take them just as well, and are in particular gifted with physical attacks and their deceptive speed, actually possessing the highest base speed stat out of all Ghost-type Pokemon. The only stats of theirs that are below average for a Pokemon of their type is their base defense stat for a fully evolved Fighting-type Pokemon, and their base defense and special defense stats for a fully evolved Ghost-type Pokemon. Even so, they are impressive little fighters that can more than pack a punch when needed and prove to truly be a legendary Pokemon worth fearing in a fight. Unfortunately, there is not a great deal of lore around to fully explain where Marshadow came from or what they truly are, but it is known that they share an incredibly special bond with the legendary Pokemon Ho-Oh, effectively acting as the legendary bird's herald. When a Ho-Oh finds a person that they like and feel is pure of heart and worthy of someday challenging them, they will leave them a rainbow wing as they fly overhead. This special feather is able to detect the evil in the hearts of others, and once it is given to the chosen trainer, referred to in legend as the Rainbow Hero, it becomes Marshadow's duty to follow and watch over that trainer, only intervening if it is deemed completely and utterly necessary. This impartial nature is a direct consequence of Marshadow's blank mental state, but it serves them well in acting as an impartial judge and observer of the chosen one. If brought to the sight of a Ho-Oh nesting ground by someone with a heart of evil, the rainbow wing will darken and lose its shine, and upon coming in contact with it, it will equally infect a Marshadow and turn them evil as well, leading them to aggressively attack and kill the individual who dares to try and meet Ho-Oh with such evil in their heart. If, on the other hand, it is brought by a true rainbow hero, Marshadow will help protect the hero from harm until the Ho-Oh arrives to meet its challenger, giving everything it has to ensure that the hero gets their due. It is still unknown how exactly this sort of relationship ever formed between Marshadow and Ho-Oh, but it is a sacred bond, and because of it, no Marshadow will ever be seen that does not share a connection with a Ho-Oh, forever serving as the neutral guardian and observer of whoever the rainbow wing falls to. Though they might look cute and relatively harmless from afar, Marshadow are powerful little beasts that can more than use their abnormal powers to take the best that the opposition can deliver upon them and throw it right back at them, potentially with more ferocity and skill than before. The chances of running across one of these creatures might be relatively nil, but for the few chosen by a Ho-Oh to someday battle against it, Marshadow is a valuable creature that should be treated with respect and kindness, if only to show how pure and worthy your heart is for its comparative pleasure. If you are ever lucky enough to encounter one of these adorable marshmallow critters, Make sure that you are clear in showing your pure intentions towards it and its master. Otherwise, you might find their powers to be too great to handle and end up paying the ultimate price when they reach their zenith and unleash the dark power hidden deep within the blank heart that lies inside of them. Thank you all for watching this video. It is always an honor to be able to speak with you all on the subject of Pokemon in a way that brings me great joy and happiness in my work. If you would like to keep tabs on past and future work, click that subscribe button, check out my work on DeviantArt, and don't be shy about following me on Twitter, where you can find pertinent announcements on upcoming work before it is officially posted. Links to both can be found in the video description. If you would like to support my work and help Miguel and I continue to produce more content for you and improve upon our presentation, please visit us at my Patreon page, which you can also find a link to in the video description.
Yeah, no.
With that, I thank you for watching and I wish you well.